Congresswoman, you've actually got a few weeks under your belt, the whirlwind that it's been. But first of all, faith and family is so important to the entire Letlow family, and of course your family growing up as well. Today is National Day of Prayer. Will you be participating in any of the events?
Yeah, I'm actually going to try to get over to West Monroe, trying to work that out with the kiddos. But you're absolutely right. Today is such an important day. It marks actually, Matt and Dustin, 70 years since Reverend Billy Graham stood on the Capitol steps and called on Congress and the president to establish this day. But you're absolutely right. It's been a year marked with tragedy and pain and illness. And I personally know that prayer has carried me through these days, and I know it has for so many others. And I'm just excited that the whole country is praying without ceasing today. So very well said. Speaking of something that is also going on today, Congresswoman, as you very well know, the president of our United States, Joe Biden, will be in Louisiana today. Just some thoughts and opinions on that. Sure. Well, it's always an opportunity for our state anytime the president of the U.S. Can visit, because he can see our successes as well as those needs that we have. And so it's a chance for him to meet and talk with the great people of Louisiana. I know that he's visiting Lake Charles, where one of the first things he's going to do is tour the damage of Hurricane Laura. And I would just like to urge him to speed up the process in getting that disaster aid to those who need it most. It's almost been 9 months since Hurricane Laura hit our state, and there's still people who are waiting on that assistance. And, but Lake Charles wasn't the only area impacted. I know Sinlaw had a lot, was hit hard. Buildings were destroyed, trees uprooted, lives changed forever. Our farmers were impacted. I wish he had more time to tour the entire state, but I know he's focused on Lake Charles, and they absolutely need that help. So.
Yeah, thank you for that, Congresswoman. This is Dustin. I just wanted to say before I ask you my question that very, very much my pleasure to be visiting with you today. As Matt mentioned to you off the air, Luke and I were good friends. We were in the Leadership Louisiana class of 2018 together, and never had a chance to meet you personally, but looking forward to that very soon.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, and what a great program to be a part of.
Yeah, it's absolutely a great program. We'll have to share more about that with our listening audience at some point. Just a quick question. I'm not sure where you're located today and where you're calling in from, but will you have the opportunity to meet with the president while he's in the state?
I don't have that opportunity. I actually have a committee hearing that I have to be a part of today, so I won't have that opportunity, but I encourage others that do to definitely make sure that our needs are heard. So
let's take a phone call for the Congresswoman. Go ahead. You are next up.
Matt, I thought I would like to compliment the Congresswoman.
Okay.
Especially about the lady in the Alexandria office, Donna. She is a jewel. I hope that she retains her position and so what. But anyhow, she is an absolute jewel.
Well, thank you, Larry. I could not agree with you more. Donna is an integral part of our team. She has agreed to stay on board, and she will be manning the ship in Alexandria.
Well, that is fantastic, because she is a lot of help. And we appreciate you and appreciate you having her.
Oh, thank you so much. That's encouraging to hear.
You have a great day, young lady. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Thank you, Larry. Congresswoman, going international now, you actually sent a letter to the U.S. ambassador to Iraq on Wednesday, encouraging him to renew trade agreement for exports of rice from Louisiana. Now, I know a lot of people know the south central Louisiana, especially down by Crowley and those areas that are kind of known for rice, but there's a lot of rice growing that happens throughout the 5th District. So a very, very important piece that you are trying to make sure that the U.S. ambassador to Iraq knows that is something we want.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Matt. I want to provide a little bit of background on this because in 2016, Dr. Abraham worked tirelessly to get this memorandum of understanding signed with Iraq to solely purchase rice from the United States. And since that MOU, the U.S. has shipped 390,000 metric tons of rice to Iraq.
Wow.
And if you just imagine that economic impact, I believe it's been a $308 million economic impact for Louisiana alone, for our rural economies. And so we just want that to continue. I let the ambassador know that last time Iraq purchased rice from the U.S. was back in July of 2019, and we need that to continue. They haven't purchased since. And so that was just really a plea and a call to continue that great work that Dr. Abraham started.
Absolutely. Let's take another phone call. Good morning. You're on with the Congresswoman.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Dustin. Good morning, Congresswoman Letlow. Jimmy Sawtelle, Chancellor of Central Louisiana. I wanted to thank you, ma'am, for your tireless efforts in hitting the ground running regarding rural communities, and especially what we're calling the new running water, and that is broadband to rural communities. I know that this is something you're passionate about, and we want to thank you for what you're doing for rural communities, because they are the lifeblood of Louisiana. And I just want to say thank you. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you, ma'am.
Amen. I couldn't have said it any better. Our rural communities are the backbone. We need rural broadband. I will fight for that every single day that I'm up here.
You will be participating in an education subcommittee meeting later today on the impact of COVID-19 on students with disabilities. What do you know about this?
Well, I know that all of our students and our teachers have had a really tough year, especially, having to learn and teach remotely. I've actually been speaking to members, though, up in D.C. who have students that are still at home. They're still not allowed back in school. And that has really affected, their advancement. And so, but it also tends to be even worse for students with disabilities. And so that's really what we're going to hear today, hear about their concerns and issues and how we can best help them moving forward.
You also had the chance, I know, earlier to spend some time at our state capitol this past Tuesday. What did you do while you were there?
I had the opportunity to address both the state and House chambers. That was wonderful. It was great to see so many familiar faces. I actually left them with two messages. First, that regardless of our differences, we're all citizens of this great state, and we should seek always to put Louisiana first. And secondly, and most importantly, that the 5th Congressional District is open for business.
What a wonderful message, and I couldn't think of a better person to deliver that. I was able to watch some of that video clip, and I was very proud to see you down there. Another thing I noticed that I think is happening today, as we all know, you're a great advocate for our farmers, which are a large part of what happens in the 5th District. A lot of farmers, a lot of young farmers, and it looks like that the USDA is actually going to host an event today, and they want to hear from some farmers about how COVID-19 impacted their operations and some other feedback. Any information you can give us on that?
That's right. They want to hear more about how their operations have been impacted. You can actually go to the link on my website or on all of my social media outlets to be able to provide your input. It's so important that our farmers' voices are heard, and I would encourage anybody that's been impacted by COVID-19 to do that.
Yeah, you actually, speaking along those lines, another bit of news that you announced here recently, you actually just hired a legislative assistant on agriculture, Zelly Duval. Do we have that right?
You got it. Yes. And she is amazing. She has so much experience, had worked with the USDA. She's also worked in Congress for other prominent people in the ag community. So we are just so fortunate and excited to have her. She comes from working on a farm. Her dad is actually, I believe, the president of the U.S. Farm Bureau. So she is well-versed. She's going to teach me a thing or two. I have full faith.
Duval, is she from the South Louisiana area?
No, actually, I believe from Georgia.
Okay.
So, but, Southeast, we'll claim her.
There you go.
Congresswoman Julia Letlow, as always, we appreciate the time. God bless, and we will talk to you same time next week.